Good evening, my brothers and sisters. How are you doing this beautiful evening that the Lord has made? Your brother Tony is at the dinner table. Come on in, come on in. You are invited. We have plenty of seats, we have plenty of utensils and plates and cups. So come on in. We're going to fill you up with this good soul food this evening. You're going to enjoy what's on the menu. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. And we got something good on the menu tonight. How you doing, Sister Teresa Thomas? Come on in, the rest of you brothers and sisters. The menu is set, and you are going to get filled up this evening. So come on in, come on in. I'm on two different platforms. I'm on the book and I'm on the tube. Some of those of you on the tube, you might not see the what the brother and sister have on the book, and those you on the book, you may not see what the brothers and sisters have on the what comments they're making. But I'm going to talk to the brothers and sisters from two different platforms, so we're all family here. If this is your first time being at the dinner table, welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in with my brothers and sisters that normally be here. We got plenty of room. Brothers and sisters, kind of slide down and let these new brothers and sisters come on and enjoy this menu and invite some family and friends. We're about to get into it. If you don't believe in this particular type of relationship, what do I mean? If you don't believe in a relationship between a man and a woman that got God in it, you may have to just sit at the dinner table and enjoy the food, because this is where I come from. If you want to know where I come from, I go all the way back to Genesis, and that's how I see God originally wanted a relationship between a man and a woman. Now, if you got a different preference, you got what is called free will. You can do whatever you choose to do. But as for me, I believe in how God structured the relationship. How you doing, Dr. Walker? How you doing? How you doing, Sister Sonia? How you doing, Sister Kirkpatrick? How you doing, Sister Teresa Thomas? How you doing? Come on in, brothers and sisters, to the dinner table. We're about to get into it. Now, on tonight's menu, we are going to feast on a man should be with a woman that he needs, not what not what who he wants. Again, on the menu, a man should be with a woman that he needs, not who he wants. Now, there is a difference between a need and a want. Now, a need is something that is could be beneficial to you, brother, or a want is something that's optional. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a woman that is needed by a man and a woman that is optional. So when God even stated that it's not good for man to be alone. And if you believe in what God said it's not good for man to be alone. And if you have a problem with it, any of you, you got to take that up with God. I'm just delivering the news. That's all I'm doing. I'm just delivering the news. So that's why God created the woman. He created the woman, but to be a helpmeet to the man. He did not create another man to be a helpmeet for a man. He did not do that. He had a choice at the beginning. God had a decision, but he decided for a male and a female to come together. And if you don't believe it, just go all the way back to Genesis. And that's what the Lord did. Now you got another preference. You got what is called free will. You can do whatever you want to do. How you doing, Sister Tierra Moore? So all of you brothers and sisters, come on in at the dinner table. We about to get into it. Now, a man should carefully think about the type of woman that should go along with his purpose in life. So where does a man get his purpose in life? A man get his purpose in life from knowing other than the Lord Jesus, okay? So that man, he has to know who he is, why he's here, and where he's going. This man got direction, okay? This is a righteous man. A righteous man is a man that have been cleansed in the blood of Jesus Christ. That's a righteous man, okay? Or a man that is not righteous. This is an evil man. So God will bring the right type of woman to a righteous man, or a man with purpose. And also God will set up an evil woman for an evil man. Think about that, digest that. Now, you see, God will bring a woman to a man that fit his purpose. A man is spiritual driven, and this man got a life purpose. And God will not bring a woman to a man that is superficial. He will not bring a man to one of his sons that is superficial. Now, the woman that a man select, listen to me very carefully. A woman that a man select will have a major impact on that man's life goals. So, brother, you're here at the right time to listen to this. The woman that you select to be in your life, to walk in this journey with you, this woman will have a major impact in life. How you doing, Sister Pastor? His will, free will, and your will. Yes. Thank you, sister. Come on into the dinner table. So now we're going to talk. Now, there are two words that I need to mention. And those two words are prudent. And we'll talk about a woman now, brother. We'll talk about, is the woman that you associate with, brother, is she a prudent woman or is she a silly woman? Okay. Is she a prudent or silly? Now, a prudent is a woman that, and we're going to go to the dictionary. What does prudent mean? Prudent means careful or wise in handling practical matters. Exercise good judgment and common sense. Prudent in managing money and other things. Having or showing good judgment and restraint, especially in conduct or speech. Listen to what it say. In conduct or speak. Now, what is a silly woman? A silly woman exhibits a lack of common sense or sound judgment. So, brother, do you have a prudent woman or is it a silly woman? At the beginning of the relationship, God, if you have a desire for God, brother, and you are delighting in him, and God knows that you have a desire for a woman, he's going to bring you a prudent woman. Or shall we say a virtuous woman. She will not be perfect, but she will be right for you. On the other hand, God is not going to bring a prudent woman to a man that is not in the will of his son, Jesus, okay? He's not going to do it. Now, a man that doesn't have a prudent woman, he's going to have a silly woman. These women, they lack common sense. They don't have sound judgment, and they the reverse of a prudent woman. So a silly woman, she is careless. She's not wise. She don't know how to handle practical matters. She doesn't exercise good judgment, and she definitely don't have common sense. She don't know how to manage money, because that's part of being prudent. She doesn't have or show good judgment, and she doesn't have restraints, especially in conduct, especially in speech, how she talks, and how she dresses. That is a silly woman. Now, let's go to God's word. We're going to go to God's word first before we break it down. As it is written in Proverbs 19:14. Again, Proverbs 19:14. Proverbs 19:14. How you doing, Sister Sonia Woods? I don't know what I spoke to you, but welcome to the dinner table. Let me just say this right quick again. Sister Thomas, Sister Kirkpatrick, Sister Moore, Sister Wood, Brother Walker, Sister Patterson, and the rest of you brothers and sisters. Welcome to the dinner table, and the rest of you. I don't see everyone, but those that make comments, I see them. Okay. Now, in Proverbs 19:14, it said, "Houses." How you doing, Sister Gill? Welcome to the dinner table. It said, "Houses and riches are inheritance of the fathers. And a prudent wife is from the Lord. Listen to me carefully, brothers. In God's own word, it said houses and riches are the inheritance of fathers. And a prudent wife is from the Lord. So, brother, if you have a prudent wife, which is a virtuous woman, she is directly from the Lord. The Lord orchestrated for you to see this woman and approach her. He set up the stage called It Was Supposed to Be. It was supposed to be before you was born, brother, or this particular woman. And sister, before you was born, it was destined for you to be with this certain man if you got the desire to be with a man. When God is the best matchmaker, my brothers and sisters. So, and then as it is written in Proverbs 31, verse 10 through 12, Proverbs 31, 10 through 12, Proverbs 31, 10 through 12, it said, who can find a virtuous woman? That's the question. Who can find a virtuous woman? Her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband does safely trust in her, so that he shall not have no need or spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. Now listen to this again. This is part of Proverbs 31, and we're talking about a virtuous woman. That's 10 through 12. It said, who can find a virtuous woman? That's the question. Who can find a virtuous woman? It takes God to bring a virtuous woman to a man. And then it say this. It said, for her price is far above ruby. Brother, when you get a virtuous woman, you cannot come up with the type of money for this type of woman. You can't put a price tag on a virtuous woman, because the Bible plainly say that the price is far above rubies. So you can't put a price tag on this particular woman because she's a virtuous woman, which means she's a prudent woman. And then this is another key part for you, brother. You need to understand this part. This Bible, this is not Tony. This Bible said, the heart of her husband does safely trust in her. So her husband will have a lot of trust in her. I didn't say 100% trust. I said a whole bunch of trust, because he will have, the man, brother, your heart will be 100% for God. But you will have a high level of trust for this particular type of woman that God bring into your life. And this is a key thing. So he shall not have no need of spoil. Whoa, listen to that, brother. Listen to this. When the Lord brings the right woman to you, the Bible clearly say in this section, so that he shall have no need of spoil. You see, brother, when God brings the right woman to you, you don't have to spoil her. Worldly women look for you to spoil them. Diamonds are a girl best friend. You see, worldly women look for you to spoil them. Worldly women look at you as a ATM machine. Those worldly women, you have to pay to play. Those are worldly women. A godly woman, you don't have to spoil. You know why you don't have to spoil a worldly woman? Because this woman going to be so good to you, brother, where you're going to go beyond spoiling. And I always say to brother, you're going to do what it called just because. Just because is you. It's not what you had or what you have. It's about you. Just because. And when it comes to just because, brother, you are not going to let the world dictate how good you treat a particular woman. You see, you're not going to wait for the media to tell you it's Mother's Day. You're not going to wait for the media to tell you it's Valentine's Day. You're not going to wait for the media to tell you get us something for Christmas. You're not going to wait for me to do none of that, because you're going to be doing this. You're going to be doing something for this woman every month. You're going to give this woman, that woman, brother, that special woman, you're going to be a giver to this woman. After the Lord, you're going to give this woman what is called time. You're going to give her time. You're going to give this woman attention. You're going to give this woman a listening ear and an understanding heart. You are going to give that woman her when this woman come up to you, you will drop whatever you have going on, because she is the second most important person or thing in your life after the Lord. Just because. You going to give this woman your heart. After you give the Lord your heart, she's going to be in your heart too. You're going to give this woman that's all your soul, your mind, your will, your emotion. You're going to give this woman the best of your body. You're going to give this woman the best of your resources. You're going to give her everything that she needs. Then what she wants. But brother, if you mess with a silly woman, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to do what is called wants. You have to spoil a silly woman. Silly women could come not only young. Silly women could come in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, 60s, and 70 years old. Silly women that want you to run after them. You see, brother, when it comes to a prudent woman, you do not have to run after these type of women, because God gonna bring these women to this particular woman to you, brother. Satan wants you to run it after women, because Satan used these type of women as baits to take you to hell. God bring a prudent woman or a virtual woman into you purpose as you spread the gospel of Christ. Proverbs 12:4. Again, Proverbs 12:4. Proverbs 12:4. It says, a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband. But now listen to this contrast. But she that maketh ashamed is rotting to his bone. So listen, brother. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband. This is a prized possession, brother. But if you choose the wrong woman, she will make you ashamed and rottenness in the bone to the bone. Let me tell you, brothers, something, and sisters. As you know, let me give you a good example. You see, a virtuous woman, we're going to go back to the prudent. She's careful, wise, in handling practical matters. She exercises good judgment and common sense. Okay, that's a prudent woman. Now, a silly woman is the opposite of that. She have a lack of common sense and sound judgment. Now, this is what, as you all know, let me tell you what happened. As you all know, my wife and I, we went on a vacation. We went on a vacation last week, right? We had a good vacation, my wife and I. But let me tell you, I seen some prudent women, and I'm not a judge, but I seen some prudent women on that ship, and I seen some silly women. Prudent and silly. I seen some women on that ship. How you doing, mother and my little sister Renee? Welcome to the dinner table. I seen some women on that ship, brothers, that they were prudent. They carried themselves how they talk and how they move, their behavior, how they talk and their behavior, and especially how they dressed. So how they talk, their behavior, and how they dress. And you could tell these were prudent women, even if they were single. Some of these women that was on that cruise, you could tell these women, they respect themselves. They were very careful how they talk in public. They were very careful how they dressed. I mean, how they act in public. And then they were very careful how they dressed in public. Now I seen a whole, and I seen a whole lot of silly women on the cruise. And when I say a whole lot of silly women, they did not have common sense and sound judgment. What do I mean by that? They did not show good judgment, and they did not have they did not have common sense, and they did not have sound judgment. Because let me tell you, what do I mean by that? Based on how they was talking loud, boastful, rude, and everything. And let me tell you this, how they moved. They moved in a way where it's not becoming to a man of God. They were basically for the streets, how they move, how they talk, and how they move. And then how they dressed. Okay, how they dressed. Because a man or a woman, based on how you dress, that tell you a whole lot about a person. Now, some of these women that was on the ship, they weren't even going into the swimming pool, but a lot of them, how they was dressing. And then some of them, they had men. It could have been their husband, their boyfriend. These guys, they did not like say, hey, you need to kind of like chill how you dressing and stuff like that. Now I understand about a swimming suit and stuff like that. I understand. And let me tell you something about this crew. Now, when a woman dressed in a swimming suit, you're supposed to have a good, decent swimming suit. But when you have a swimming suit that the back part all up your behind, purposely up your behind, and showing a whole bunch of stuff, that telling a potential man that got purpose in his life, that is not for me. Because if a man have a woman that is respectable, she could have on a swimming suit, but it's a swimming suit, whereas she ain't showing everything. And I'm not saying that she got to be a non get in the swimming pool. I'm just talking about a silly woman and a prudent woman. As it is written in Proverbs 21:1, it said, better to live in the desert than with a contentious and ill-tempered wife. Listen to the Bible. It said, it's better to live in the desert, even though it's hot in the desert and you don't have no water in the desert. It say it's better to live in the desert than with a contentious and ill-tempered wife. Then we go down to Proverbs 21:9. Proverbs 21:9 said, better to live on a corner of the roof than to share a house with a quarrelsome wife. This is Bible, brothers. It say, and this is not Tony. Tony just telling you what was in the Bible. It says it's better to live on the corner of the roof. Just think it, brother. If you live in an apartment or house, it's better for you to be on the top of your roof at the corner where you about to fall off than to share a house with a quarrelsome wife. Silly woman. Proverbs 31:30. Proverbs 31:30. It said, charm is deceitful and beauty is passing. But a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Let me read that two more times. Charm is deceitful. Beauty is passing. But a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. What do I mean by that? Let's take the first part. It said charm is deceptive and beauty is passing. How you doing, Sister Susan? How you doing? Thank you for being here. Now, in Proverbs 31:30, it said charm. Welcome to the dinner table, Sister Susan. It said better. It said Proverbs 31:30 said, charm is deceitful and beauty is vain. I mean, beauty is passing or vain. Okay, what does it mean by charm and deceptive? Some of you brothers, and I'm going to talk about this part later. Some of you brothers, you get deceived by Delilah type women. They're very charming, but they are deceptive. They're very deceiving. That's why a lot of you guys, you get hooked up on the outside feature of a woman. Just because the woman look good, just because the woman got a nice physique, does not mean that she's nice on the inside as far as character goes. But a lot of men, you get hoodwinked, you get bamboozled because of how a woman look on the outside and how she's shaped on the outside. That's not the most important thing. But a lot of you all do that. You run after these type of women. And the reason why, let me bring it to a lot of you guys' attention. A lot of time why you run after women based on how they look, they face, and how they shape. A lot of reason why you do that because you thinking on a flesh level. You thinking about more than, let's talk about it. You basically be thinking about lust. You lust after her beauty, so you visualize what it would be like if that woman was in a horizontal position. And some of these, and then what a lot of these women don't realize, it said, the Bible said beauty is passing. You see, it said charm is deceitful and beauty is passing, or beauty is vain. There are a lot of women that think the only thing that they have are their looks. That's what get a whole lot of women stuck. They think that their beauty could pass them. Now, it's true, when a woman is young, as they age, things gonna happen. So some of you sisters that listen to me right now, you are not the same as you were in high school. And that go for some brothers too. But sisters, you know better. You know you got to have something more than how you look on the outside. You could have been the head cheerleader in high school. You could have been Miss Popular in high school. And when you look at your yearbooks and stuff like that, yes, you had it going on. But you see, as time goes on, a woman ages, a man ages. So how you looked in high school, you're not going to look the same as you advance in age. You can put all the makeup on you want. You can do all that stuff. But you see, it's two things that cannot be defeated. And it's called Father Time and Mother Nature. That's right. Father Time and Mother Nature, they can't be beat. They have not lost one match. So let me tell you this. Brothers, you are hooked. Some of you brothers, you right now, you have gotten messed up with a woman based on her charm, which was deceptive. Look at how Delilah got Samson. I imagine that Delilah, she looked very nice on the outside. I can imagine Delilah, she had a banging shape. Samson lust after this woman, but he thought he loved the woman. So she captivated him on charm and deceit and her beauty. Now, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. So, brother, it's better to have a woman. Let's look at the scale between 0 and 10, 10 being the highest. As I always say, it's better to have an adjustable 7 or 6 than a 10. What do I mean by that? You may want that beauty queen, brother, a 10 that lack common sense and all that kind of stuff. She don't have good judgment. She cannot carry out a good conversation. She's not respectable. She's loud. She's boisterous. She's contentious. She's ill-tempered. She's a quarrelsome woman. She likes to start arguments all the time. A silly woman. No, you need a virtuous woman. And it said, but the Lord, the woman who fears the Lord, now the right woman for you, she fears the Lord. That doesn't mean she's afraid of the Lord. She respects the Lord. She shall be praised. When people talk about this particular woman, even though she could be very attractive on the outside, get what people are going to mostly talk about her. They're going to talk about her character. That's right, Sister Patterson. Substance is eternal power, integrity. That's right. So when people talk about this woman, brother, the woman that you should focus on, just like Sister Patterson said, is that integrity and character on the inside of the woman. That's the type of woman, if you want a trophy woman, brother, that's the type of woman that you want on your own. Now, let's just break it down. Brother, you may not have that 10, that woman that could walk down the runway, that don't have no sense, that she can't carry on a decent conversation. The Lord is far from her. She don't care how she present herself by her voice. She don't care how she present herself on her actions. She could be one of those women that just embarrass you in public. Whereas you can have this woman, she may have a little weight on her. She may have a little cellulite on her and all that kind of stuff, but she got character in her. So some of you brothers, you need to grow up and stop looking at how a woman look on the outside and how she's shaped. That's not the woman. That's that woman house. Don't you, some of you brothers, know that even though the woman look good and she may be fine today, don't you know that in time she's going to start losing that? As a matter of fact, when you look at social media, brother, I could tell you instantly how you could tell whether a woman has substance or not. I could tell you. Proverbs 31:30 said, charm and deceptive is deceitful and beauty is passing. A lot of ladies that you see on social media that show pictures of themselves every day, they don't say nothing. Just listen to what I'm saying. They don't say nothing on social media. They don't say nothing. They craving for attention. And a lot of you guys, you give them attention. They're not even interested in you. They just want attention because there's something eternal going on. Now, a woman of substance that may appear on social media, she may have something to say. Even though she may take pictures and stuff like that, but she's not going to take a picture with a swimming suit on in her bedroom with a messed up bed. She's not going to sell you her body. You see, when you look at social media, not only social media, when some women, they don't say nothing, but they sell their outside. And some of you brothers, you are a bait. I mean, they use their bodies to bait you. Instead of you think about a woman, what's on the real on the inside, you think about what's on that woman on the outside. Now, the question is, brother, I'm going to give you two models. I'm going to present to you Sarah, and I'm going to present to you Jezebel. Again, I'm presenting to you tonight, in my case, Sarah and Jezebel. And what is the difference between the two? Now, who is Sarah and who is Jezebel? Both those women are a product of their husband. Both of those women represented their husband. Let's talk about Sarah first. Sarah, her name was Sarai. She was Abram's wife before God changed her name. He changed Abram's name from Abram to Abraham, and he changed Sarah's name to Sarah. Sarah was, as the Bible say, for those of you that like, it ain't nothing wrong with a woman looking good when God sprinkle a little goodness on a women. Sarah was a very attractive woman, even as she advanced in age. Check out the Bible. Sarah was a beautiful woman just to look at. She was easy on the eyes. Abraham's wife. Abraham was a man. The Bible said that Abraham was considered the friend of God. Out of Sarah, Sarah gave birth to Isaac. Isaac gave birth to Jacob, which name got changed to Israel. And Israel had 12 sons. From the union, you see, Abraham had a purpose. God specifically chose Abraham. Don't you know when God chose Abraham, he looked at Abraham's wife? Before God called Abraham, Abraham was a pagan. God introduced himself to Abraham. Sarah was the right wife for Abraham. They did not just get together by coincidence. However they got together, that was God ordained because he was going to use those two individuals. Sarah, on the outside, she was a very, very attractive woman. But also on the inside, Sarah, even though she messed up sometimes, like her husband Abraham, she was a woman that had integrity. Let's go to Jezebel. Jezebel, husband was Ahab. Jezebel was a contentious and ill-tempered wife. She was a quarrelsome woman. She was a woman that depended on her beauty and charm. Now, what was the vast difference between Sarah and Jezebel? On the inside of both of these women, Sarah followed her husband because she knew that Abraham was the head of the relationship. On the contrary, Jezebel did not follow Ahab. Ahab followed Jezebel. Jezebel ran the kingdom. Ahab was considered an evil man. He was one of the most evil kings over God's people. Ahab was a weak back man. He did not have no backbone. So if he did not have no backbone, Jezebel was the running the show. So, brother, you need to listen to this. What it say? A man should be with a woman that he needs, not who he wants. So Abraham needed Sarah to carry out God's will. Ahab was with Jezebel because he wanted her. Jezebel was not, she was from another nation. She was not an Israelite, pre-Israelite. Jezebel believed in other type of gods. You know why I said but Jezebel believed in other type of God? Because remember, she sent all her prophets to battle against Elijah. So Jezebel, her belief system was totally different than Sarah's. Sarah believed in the one true God. Jezebel believed in a whole bunch of God, Baal. So their thinking was different. So if their thinking was different, their talk was different. And if their talk was different, the way they behaved was different. And the way they behave affect how they dressed. If Sarah had integrity things, even though she was a beautiful woman, she was careful how she talked, she was careful how she behaved, and she was careful how she dressed. Jezebel, on the other hand, she didn't care what came out of her mouth. Her thinking was whack. So she didn't care about what came out of her mouth and how she moved and how she dressed. Jezebel was a vicious woman. Sarah was not. Sarah followed her husband. That's how the Bible have it. The man supposed to be the head of the house. So Sarah followed her husband. Jezebel did not follow her husband. Her husband followed her. Now, going back to a man should be with a woman that he needs, not who he wants. Men, like I said, is a woman that you select to be in your life will have a major impact. That's right, Sister Teresa. That's right. That's right about Jezebel. A woman that you choose, brother, she's going to have a major impact in your life. You supposed to choose wisely. Like I tell the sister, when a man walk up to them, they supposed to say a silent prayer. Why is this man coming to me? What does he need or want? Brother, when a woman come to you, you need to say a silent prayer to God. The first thing you need to do is ask God, is this the woman that's supposed to be a part of my life? Is this the woman that you wanted me to find? You did the lead word, Lord. So is this the particular woman that you want me to find? Lord, is this the woman that I need? Do I see this woman as a woman that I need? I know, Lord, that you did not create me for the woman, but you created the woman for the man. So if this is the woman that you created for me, Lord? Only you know that, Lord. I don't know it. Did you create her for me? Overall, Lord, does she believe in you? That's one of the first things I need to know, Lord. Does she believe in you? Lord, will she be a part of my life purpose? As I follow your son Jesus, will she follow me as I follow your son Jesus? That's right, Sister Pastor. Sarah had order. That's right, Sister Pastor. And Sister Teresa, amen. Why a man coming to me, Lord? Is that man that I need? Yeah, that's right, need. So, brother, do you need this woman in front of you, or do you want her? I'm going to tell you all this, brother. Just be fair about it. That's right, Sister Pastor. Jezebel was she had a disordered position. Brothers, God only going to bring a woman to you that you need. He's not going to bring a woman to you who you want. That's why I tell you, brother, when you ask God for a woman, do not go to God with a top 10 list. She need to look like this. She need to be shaped like this. She need to have this. She got to look like Halle Berry, shaped like Janet Jackson, 5'6", got a PhD, got money in the bank, got a beautiful house, got 6 figures and plus in the bank. She got a short car. She don't need a man. She don't need a man. Or she would look good on my arm as I carry her around to social gathering or take her around my friends. Don't go to God with that kind of crap. Brother, when you go to God for a woman, He already know that you have desire for a woman. You just tell God, Lord, bring a woman to me that is right for me. And just that's all you do. Just pray to God, Lord, bring a woman to me that's right for me. Because he's not going to bring you a perfect woman, because there's not one woman that's perfect. He's going to bring the right woman to you. Are men that are not spiritual. They are lust driven. They care more about what's on the outside of the woman and how she feel when they go inside the woman. And you know what I'm talking about. They think about how she look on the outside and how she will feel when they go inside of her. That's how worldly men think. I have told you all this before. And sister, this for your benefit. I have told you this several times. I'm going to say it again. Out of 10 men, and I'm being generous, out of 10 men, 8.5 don't want no long-term relationship with you. When I say long-term, they're not looking for the covenant part of relationship. So the 2.5 are those men that could be serious about you. And I'm being generous. So, brother, you may see an attractive woman, but what make that woman tick on the inside? You see, when a woman come in front of you, you got to be able, with the Lord help, to use your discernment and see whether or not this woman should be a part of your future. You don't want to look at a woman as being a part of your present. You will need to look at a woman that's going to be a part of your future. Sister Susan said, was Sarah the one that couldn't bear a child, so she requested the servant to be with Abraham? Yes, that was her, Sister Susan, but guess what happened? The Lord told Abraham, no, that's okay, sister. The Lord told Abraham that he was going to have a son. Sarah was on the inside of the tent and she was eavesdropping, and she started laughing. And the Lord told Abraham, "Why are your wife in there laughing?" Sarah overheard it, and Sarah said, "I wasn't laughing." And then the Lord said, "You were laughing." So the Lord told them to call the son Isaac. Isaac means laughter. So when the Lord told Abraham and Sarah that they were going to have a child, they thought that the Lord was going to give them a child instantly. That's what they thought. But it didn't happen that way. Many years went by. Sister Pal said, "You better come on with it, man of God." Yeah, thank you, sister. Many years went by. Can you imagine this? The Lord told Abraham and Sarah that you're going to have a son. And they thought it was going to happen like that, but it didn't. So many years went by. Can you imagine Abraham and Sarah going around telling people the Lord said we're going to have a son? But as years went by, can you imagine what the street committee was saying? Him and his wife, they going around still talking about they're going to have a child. Look at all the years went by. I don't see no child yet. So this is what happened. Sarah thought that she was going to help the Lord out. And this is wrong, my brother and sister. When the Lord said he's going to do something, he's going to do it. Because the Lord let them know that he was going to do it. But no, Sarah wanted to help the Lord. So this is what Sarah did. Sarah told her husband, Abraham, "I want you to go in and lay with Hagar." You see, Hagar was a servant to Sarah. She told Abraham, "I want you to go lay with Hagar, get her pregnant. And when you get her pregnant, the child that she have, more than likely going to be a son I'm going to raise him up as my son because Hagar is my servant. So she ain't got no say-so in it. So when Sarah told Abraham to go lay with Hagar, you know what Abraham said? Okay, can I go now? Can I go now? And Abraham went on in that. The Bible didn't say he said that, but I could just imagine Abraham. He said, I got the green light. I can go in there now. So he went in. He impregnated Hagar. Hagar had this son. And when Hagar had this son, she would pushing it all up in Sarah's face, like you you can't have a child. You can't have a child. I got the child, so I'm better than you. So eventually Sarah got pregnant. So when she got pregnant, she had Isaac. And when she had Isaac, Isaac came out. And Hagar, oldest son, used to pick at little Isaac. So Sarah was already pissed off at Hagar because she used to flaunt it all up in her face. So now Sarah had a son, and now she told Abraham, and this what was wrong about Sarah, you brother and sister. Sarah gonna blame Abraham for Hagar's son. But it was all Sarah's idea. But is this what the Lord told Abraham? He said, whatever Sarah tell you, go ahead and do it. So Abraham told Sarah, that's your servant. You do whatever with her what you want. So Sarah kicked Hagar and her son out. Thank you, Sister Flo. So she kicked Hagar out and she kicked the little son out. So they was in a desert place. And Hagar thought they were going to die. But the angel of the Lord appeared to her and gave her and her son what they needed to survive. Now, the tricky part is, I'm going to tell you, brother and sister, who was the angel of the Lord. It said the angel of the Lord. It didn't say an angel. It said the angel of the Lord. Do you all know who Hagar met? She met no one other than Jesus Christ. You all got to understand that Jesus appeared throughout the Bible before Mary had him. Jesus was the one that told Abraham that Sarah was going to get pregnant. He wasn't called Jesus at that time. To go a step further, Jesus was the one that talked to Adam and Eve. But they didn't call him Jesus. His name was not identified at that time. Because you all got to understand, Jesus created everything. It's the God here. It's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Bible clearly say that he created everything, and all things was created by him and for him. Jesus even created Mary, his mama. Have you all ever heard of this? Who is the same age of their father but older than their mother? Who's the same age as their father but older than their mother? Only Jesus. Because Jesus, his father was in eternity. Jesus was in eternity. Jesus formed Mary before he got in Mary. I'm not going to get far off it, but what I'm telling you, according to the sister, she wanted to know about that. Yes, that happened. And that's why, my brother and sister, that's why they're having a whole bunch of problems over in the Middle East now, over that land, because the Arab people and the Israelite, they battling over land. You see, God promised Abraham's son Isaac that they were going to inherit that land. But also Hagar's son was by Abraham. So that's why they fussing. Both of them claiming Abraham as their father, which is true. But one is one is promised. That was Isaac. not Hagar's son. Now let me get back to the story. Now Sarah and Jezebel, brother, who do you think had the best wife? Abraham did. Ahab did not. Ahab was a weak man. And some of you brothers and sisters, you know a weak man when you see him. And I could describe this, and some of you have seen these type of individuals. Have you not seen a woman that called herself a boss, and she got a lot of masculine energy in her? She's leading the relationship. You all have seen these type of women before. She leading the relationship, and the man, he's so passive. You done seen these type of individual at the mall. Have you ever seen a woman walking out to the mall and he holding the pocketbook and all that, and she walking ahead of him and stuff like that, and she talking to him like he's a little boy? Have you all ever seen a woman that talked to the man in a disrespectful way? She talked to him disrespectfully behind closed doors. So she don't care nothing about that man when she talked to him in public. That you all have seen these type of women. They very aggressive. They very, very aggressive. But you see, a wise man will not deal with an aggressive woman like a Jezebel. So, brother, you got the women that got the Jezebel spirit. It exists. And then you got those women that got that kind of Sarah spirit. What is Sarah's spirit? Sarah have a feminine spirit. Sarah follows the Lord. Let me all tell you this. That's right, Ishmael. That's right, sister Patterson. It was Ishmael. Let me tell you this, sisters and brothers. Sarah, she was super feminine. You see, when a woman is super feminine, that is strength. Because when you go all the way back to the Garden of Eden, when Eve and Adam messed up, the Lord told Eve, and you got to dissect what he was telling her. He said, your desires will be to your husband. Why did the Lord tell Eve your desire would be to your husband? Because when Adam and Eve ate the apple, God knew that Eve was going to try to lead the relationship. You know why I say that? Remember, when Eve ate this fruit, she gave it to Adam. Weak back. Adam was weak. Adam chose to listen to this woman than God. He was weak. He was perfect, but he was weak. Why would Adam listen to this woman than the Creator? He was weak. He loved Eve more than he loved God. And he was perfect. And I have said it before. When you look at Job, you are familiar with Job. Job lost a whole lot of stuff in a short period of time. Job's wife came to him and say, why don't you curse God and die? You know what Job told her? Job got her straight. I could see Miss Job coming up to him, getting all up in his face, putting her finger on his head and pushing it back. You all ever seen a woman put their finger on the man's head and push it back and get all up in the man's face and put her breast all up in his face and wanna act like she want to fight and push the man and stuff? Sister Job, she tried that with brother Job. She gonna come up there and say, why don't you curse God and die? Why are you believing this? Don't you see our children died? He done took away our wealth. You ain't got no friends. You ain't got nothing. And look at your body. You got all those bars from the top of your head to the sole of your feet. And look at me. I'm not happy. I'm not happy, Job. What you gonna do, Job? I'm not happy. What did Job say? Look at him, woman. You speak like a foolish woman. God give it and God take it away. That shut her up. Job showed Miss Job that she don't run nothing. Job showed his wife that his allegiance belonged to God, not her. Job knew that just like God could replace anything, he could even replace you, woman, if he wanted to. So if God called Miss Job to die, which he didn't, if Miss Job would have died, if God could have gave Job another wife. Speaking of that, some of you brothers, you made the wrong decision and you got with a Jezebel. She charmed you. You thought you could buy her love. You were so blind by how she looked and how she talked and how she did and how she wiggled in the bed. You got hoodwinked and all that kind of stuff. You married her. And she's a rot to your bone. Like Proverbs 12:4 say, a virtual woman is a crown to her husband, but some of you brothers, but she that make it ashamed is as a rottenness in his bones. So some of you brothers, you made an error and you married the wrong woman. Yeah, you married the wrong woman because you got captivated in her deceitful beauty and how she shaped and how she moved. Some of you brothers, you need to throw this kind of, some of you brothers, y'all believe in this stuff. I want a woman in the street and a freak in the bed. That's what some of you brothers think. I want a woman in the street and a freak in the bed. That's some of the most foolish stuff I ever heard of. I want a woman in the street and a freak in the bed. Now, you want a woman in the street and you want a woman, your wife, in the bed. You don't want your wife to be no freak. She's not in no circus. Freaks belong in circuses. Freaks belong at the fair. Some of you brothers, you go with that right, cousin Connie. You go with all that foolish stuff. So what you brothers don't understand, get a feminine woman. Get a feminine woman. You all don't. Y'all move your children out the way. Move your children out the way. Move your children out the way. Because I'm finna say something. Some of you brothers, if you get the right woman, if you get a virtuous woman, she's not perfect, she's not right. You need, remember what the topic is. A man should be with a woman he needs, not who he wants. You see, some of you brothers, you want a freak. You don't supposed to want no freak. You need a virtuous woman. Now, what do I mean by that? You need a woman that believes in God first. You need a woman that's going to be a partner in the relationship with you. That's going to help you with the purpose that God gave you. Because when God brings that right woman to you, she's going to have a gift. You got a gift. God's going to bring you all together. Because remember what I said, marriage is a partnership. How you doing, Sister Mo? Marriage is a business. You all need to stop looking at that Disney stuff all the time. Marriage is a business. When you love, you make a decision to love. Love is a decision. Stop looking at all that stuff and basing off your feeling. Love is more than just a feeling, because your feeling go up and down. Love is a decision. because you know that the relationship going to go up and down. So you got the love when the relationship go down as well as it up. Love is a decision. When Jesus came down here, love was a decision. Jesus decided to come for the betterment of us. Because he said, no greater love than a man has than to die for his friend. So Jesus, he died, he willfully gave his life up. It was more than emotions. Because if Jesus would only went by his emotion, do you think Jesus really wanted those nails put in his hand? Now, let's go back. Do you all really think that Jesus wanted to be in front of Pilate them and get slapped, hit upside his head, beat, got that crown of thorn in his head? Don't you all know those crowns of thorn that went into his scalp and it started bleeding? And you know, if it started bleeding, his scalp and stuff is swelled up. If you all look at history, go and look at what it was like. Jesus got beat so bad that he was not recognizable. That's how bad they beat Jesus. If Jesus went by his emotion, you thought Jesus wouldn't went by that? Because remember when Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus asked God, he said, can this cup pass by me? Then he said, nevertheless, not my will, but let your will be done. Do you think Jesus wanted to go through all that stuff? But Jesus, he yielded to the will of God the Father. So he had to get the old crown of thorns. He had to be ridiculed. He was beat. He was slapped. His beard got pulled out. Any of you brother, let somebody pull your beard out and see how you feel. Grow a little more beard and let somebody grab you by the beard and pull it out. Not only that, they whipped Jesus with what is called a cat of nine tails. How you doing, Sister Cheryl? What is that? It was a whip. You hold the whip and it had separate scraps. It had separate scraps. Embedded in all those scraps, you had metal, you had bones, and you had stones. In certain section of those scripts, that whip. You see, some of you think that the whip was one long thing and they just hit Jesus. No, it was one. You hold this device and it had different scrap, and in the old different scrap, like I said, they had stone, glass, and metal. So when they hit Jesus on his back, listen to this carefully. You all need to see how this was. Try to visualize this. When they hit Jesus in his back, bam! When they hit Jesus in his back, those bones, the metal and glass, it embedded in Jesus' skin. And then when the man pulled it back, he pulled back flesh. 40 times. Can you imagine that going on your back about 40 times? Do you think that felt good to Jesus? And not only that, they didn't have no sympathy for Jesus. They got this device called the cross, and they put it on his back. His flesh was open. So Jesus carrying a cross on his back. He was already beaten. You couldn't recognize him. But then they got this other guy to help Jesus pull the cross to where he was going to get crucified. When Jesus got crucified, they laid him down. They got those spikes and they drove it in his hand. No anesthesia. Then they went down there by his feet. They got a spike and drove it through his feet. And then not only that, they put ropes on the cross and they pulled the cross and it landed in this little hole that was in the ground. When they pulled the cross, it went down and it shut like that. And Jesus, can you imagine that pain? So Jesus on the cross, bleeding and everything, you couldn't recognize him. So when you could not recognize the Lord Jesus, he still was thinking about carrying out God's will. So as time went on, he wasn't dead yet. So, like Cousin Connor said, then one of them got a sword and they pierced him in his side. They cut his side. And when they cut Jesus' side, what came out of Jesus' side? Blood and water. Jesus still on the cross with these two thieves, right? They was going to break Jesus' leg. You know why they were going to break Jesus' leg? During that time in the crucifixion, how do you go ahead and cause somebody to die? You break their leg, and when you break their leg, you see, while they on the cross, they having a hard time breathing anyway, right? Because can you imagine on the cross, every time they breathe, they will have to push themselves up and breathe. So if you break their leg, they couldn't do it. So they broke both of the guys that was on the left side and the right side. They broke their leg, but when they got to Jesus, he was already dead. Love, the point is, love is a decision. If Jesus only went by his feeling, that would have been a whole different story. Jesus decided to do that. So, brother, you have to decide, what woman are you willing to die for? Because the Bible clearly say that a man supposed to love a woman like Christ loved the church. So, brother, if you love the woman like Christ loved the church, you're going to be very selective of who you're going to bring in, because you got a life purpose and you want her to share in your life purpose. See, brother, when you get a wife, you get a prudent wife, one that's careful, wise, and handling practical matter. She exercises good judgment. She got common sense. She know how to manage money and other things. She shows good judgment and she restrained. She got good restraint in her conduct, in her speech, and how she dressed, because she represents you. The man is the image and glory of God, and the woman is the glory of the man. That's what the Bible says. The woman is the glory of the man. The man is the image and glory of God, but the woman is the glory of the man. So, brother, when you decide to get someone, you need a woman that's going to represent you. You need a woman that's going to represent you privately, and you need a woman that's going to represent you when you're not around. Because people look at the woman. Let me give you an example. Look at the next award show. Look at the next award show. The woman may not be the star of the movie. Her husband may be the star that's walking down the red carpet. Her husband can have on a tuxedo and a pair of sneakers, Air Jordan. He can have on a pair of Air Jordan and a tuxedo. Who are the people going to focus on the most? They're going to focus on that woman. She ain't in the movie. They're looking at that woman and they're going to criticize how that woman look. They're going to criticize how that woman look, how she dressed. They're going to have it all on social media. That woman. Look at a talk show. Let me give you a good example. David Letterman. Or the night, listen to this. Those guys that have nighttime talk shows, they come out there with a little tie on a shirt. They just come out there. The world ain't gonna say too much about them. They look presentable. A woman cannot come out there on a night show and dress the same, that kind of way. A woman have to dress different ways. Those of you that work, and those of you that work around people, let's say at the mall or anything, at an office. A man could come to work You see this shirt, what I got on right here? You see this shirt? The day is Monday. I got this shirt on Monday. Listen to me. I got this shirt on Monday. You see this shirt? I could wear this same shirt maybe Thursday. Nobody ain't gonna say too much about it. Tony had that shirt on Thursday. They ain't gonna say too much. Let a woman wear a certain outfit on Monday and let her wear that same outfit on Thursday. Some of the women that work around, they're gonna say, did she have that on Monday? Did she ain't got nothing there? You see what I'm saying? Women get the spotlights. Brother, that's why when you have a woman, you have to have a woman that's going to represent you internally and on the outside. Because the world going to judge you, brother, based on her. You don't want no street woman. You don't want no Jezebel. Brother, you don't want no woman that hang in the clubs and doing the twerk and all that kind of stuff. You don't want no woman on social media that you see her glass going in and out with wine and all that. I'm not saying you can't drink no wine. No, just picture what I'm saying. You don't want no woman that out there in the streets all the time. You don't want that. If you are a man of a law of God, you don't want no woman that's out there in the street. You don't want your woman listed as a street woman. You don't want that. You don't want no woman that got a potty mouth. What do I mean by a potty mouth? She cuss and stuff a lot. You don't want no woman that is this is a big one. You don't want no woman that is a debater. She debate with anybody in public. You don't want that. That's for the streets. You don't want no woman that act street-like in character. You know what I'm talking about. You don't want no woman that's all up in other men's faces, do you? You don't want no woman that's all up in men's faces, do you, brother? You know what? Let me tell you how other women know. If a women know women like men know men. If a woman, let's say it's a social setting, and you got women with their men, they could pick out a woman that's for the streets. They could pick out a flirty type woman. Brother, you don't want no woman that's flirty, that's real friendly. You know what I mean? Real friendly. And she all up in other men's faces. You took her to the event, but she all up in other men's faces. You don't want that type of woman. Other women, when they see these type of women come around, they pull their men back. You all remember that movie called Waiting to Exhale? You all remember that movie, Waiting to Exhale? Do you all remember the beginning of the scene? It was like on a New Year's Eve or something like that. Remember when Whitney Houston character, she went to this little party, right? And remember how the women, they pulled back their men. They didn't want, because they could pick up on that vibe. You see, the Whitney Houston character at the beginning, she had that Jezebel vibe. You know why I said she had that Jezebel vibe? Because remember, Whitney, she was dating, she had a full-blown relationship with another man, another woman's husband. You see what I'm saying? You see, those women at that ball, they knew the Jezebel spirit. They knew the Jezebel spirit. You all remember that, right? And some of you sisters, you seen these type of women. You seen these type of women that they like to be the social butterfly and they be all up in other men's faces. You done seen this before. Some of you brothers have seen it before. You see these women that, oh, here go another one. This gonna hurt. This gonna hurt. Have you all seen these women now? They think it's cute to smoke cigars. Have you seen these type of women? They like to smoke cigars like men. They like to hang at the cigar shop and be men. Very masculine. And they think it's cute. It ain't nothing cute by smoking cigars, because when these same women, they look good, but they smoking cigars and they come talking your face, brother, and the breath be stinking. They look good, but they got stinky breath because they smoking on those cigars and stuff. What about those women that the only thing they got going for them, what they think going for them, they like to take pictures of their behind. They like to take pictures from behind. Why they like to do that? Some of you brothers and sisters have seen these type of women on social media. You have seen them. They be in the bathroom and they had a camera up. You all have seen the type of women, they had a camera up, right? They be facing right here. So they had a camera up. So they have a window behind, they have a mirror behind them, right? You all have seen these women, and some of you know who I'm talking about, a lot of them. They take a picture of themselves, they'll show their face, right? Then they show the mirror. So when they show the mirror, they want you to see their behinds, right? That's all they got. That's all they have, brothers and sisters. How you doing, Happy Faith 2011, honey? That's all they got. They want you to, that's all they got going. Even though they might look good in the face, their inside is so depleted. The only thing they got going for them, what they think is their behinds. And not only that, my brothers, you done seen these type of women that they take pride in this little dance called twerking. Brother, if you're gonna have a woman that's gonna twerk, that need to be your woman in the privacy of your home. You see, your woman, your wife, she's supposed to only be twerking for you. She don't supposed to be twerking for social media. She don't supposed to be twerking out there in public with other people. When you got a woman that doing that twerking, she don't respect herself. She don't respect you either, brother. Can you see, brother, you taking this woman in front of Jesus? Let's just say Jesus pop in at a party. What would that woman do if she seen Jesus? Do you think she would twerk in front of Jesus? Just think about it. Do you actually think the woman would twerk in front of Jesus? Do you actually think that woman would have a potty mouth in front of Jesus? Do you think that woman would be acting real Delilah-like or Jezebel-like in front of Jesus? Do you think that woman would come in front of Jesus with all her breasts or breasts out and having these pants that got the camel toes down in the pants? Do you see a woman coming in front of Jesus that way? So, if you're a man of God, brother, and she know you're a man of God and she respect Jesus, she gonna respect you. Because the concept, I was just about to say that I twerk for my husband in the privacy of my own home. I definitely wouldn't. That's right. You twerk for your husband at home. He the only one that's supposed to see what you call it? The lappy tappy. He the only one supposed to see the lappy tappy tappy. You understand? You see what I'm saying, brother? Get a woman that's after God and a woman that's very, very feminine. That's a key thing. If you get a woman that's feminine, brother, she understands the role of the relationship. She don't have no problem of you leading the relationship. She will let you drive the relationship. She will discuss the decision with you, but she will let you make the final decision. She might not disagree, she might not agree with everything you say, but she will let you make the decision because she acknowledged you for being a leader. Now, when you get this other type of woman, Proverbs 21:9, it said, better to live on the corner of the roof than to share a house with a quarrelsome woman. That's for you guys. You know this woman, she like to fuss a lot, right? She likes to debate. She likes to get in the last word. She like to put her hand on your head and push your head back. She like to push you. And she dare you to touch her because she's going to call the police. She don't care nothing about you. She might not even work. You come home, she don't do nothing. All she doing is playing on her phone all day. She looking at soap operas all day. She don't do nothing. You come home, she wants you to clean the house. You ask her what you ask her what do we have to eat. She ain't work. Now that's for those of you that don't want the woman to do anything. You ask her what we got to eat, and she said, "Did you bring anything?" You can go in there and cook. I'm going on a girl trip. Me and my friend, we finna go on a girl trip, and you keep the children. And then when you call her, the phone go to voicemail. When you text her, she don't respond to you in a respectable time. She say, stop bothering me. Don't you know I'm on the trip with my girls? By the way, send me some money to my Cash App or my Zelle. When you gonna be home, baby? When I get there. You're not my daddy. Quarrelsome woman. These women, you afraid to go in your house because you know time you put one foot in, she gonna go off on you. She's rotten into your bone. She's not a virtuous woman. Because see, if you had a virtuous woman, her price is far above rubies. You don't have to spoil her because you would do a whole bunch of just because, and she won't do you bad all the days of your life. You may have some disagreement, but she's going to treat you good, brother. So, brother, get a woman that you need, not who you want. Don't, you see, if you want Jezebel, if you want a Jezebel or Delilah, go ahead. But if you want a Sarah, if you want a Ruth, if you want a Mary, if you want an Esther, those type of women, that's who you need. Know the difference. Need is a necessity. Want is an option. Some of you brothers, leave these women alone that don't want that. They're not no good. Some of you brothers, you're seasoned brothers. You have been through some bad relationships. You have made some bad choices. I know, because I have walked that road before. You have made some bad decisions. But when the Lord bring the right woman to you, stick with that woman. She might not be that runway model, but she could be that good at just for 7 or 6. And it's all right with me. It's better to have a just for 6 or a 7 than to have a 10 that ain't about nothing. She for the streets. You don't want no woman that for the street. You want a woman that is for God's purpose. Brother, people are watching you, and they're watching that woman that you got in your life. They watching that woman. You know what? You want a woman that's going to represent you when she's not around you. That's another key factor, brother. You need a woman that's going to represent you when she's not even around you. You don't want no bad report coming to your ears about your woman. I know people lie and stuff, but you want positive report. When people talk to you, you want them to say stuff about the character. Now, that woman right there, I'm not putting her on no pedestal or nothing, but let me tell you, most of the time, what I hear people say about her, they would talk about her character first. They would talk about her character. They would say, you got a sweet wife. She's very nice. She's considerate. That's what they say when I hear them talk about her. I don't know about the other part, but that's what they say about her. That's what you want people to say about your woman, bro. She's nice. She's considerate. She's a good listener. She's not controversial. You want people to say that. Then they could sprinkle, and she look good. They say, your wife look nice. So, brother, when God gotta give you a virtual woman that's together on the inside, then he sprinkle a little niceness on the outside. That's God just throwing in some extra stuff. But the main thing, brother, a woman that you need, not who you want. Do you understand, brother? A woman that you need, not who you want. God will bring the right woman to you, brother. All you have to do is delight in your heart. No, you delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Be patient, brother. Thank you, Sister Teresa. Be patient. Thank you, Sister Flo, Sister Cheryl. Be patient. God will bring the right woman to you. You have to be patient, brother. But why are you being patient, brother? Do everything you're supposed to do for the Lord. Because the Lord, when he brings the woman to you, she's going to be wife ready. And let me tell you another thing, brother. When you get the right woman, some of those women that you dealt with in the past, they're going to try to size that woman up that you got, and they're going to wonder what she got that they didn't have. That's what some of them are going to ask you, brother. Why did you marry her? Some of those women that you dealt with in the past, they want to know, why did you marry her? Well, she wanted to follow me. She didn't come to me with her hands out, talk about, I need this, I need that. She didn't do that. That's what you tell the other women that you dealt with in the past. When she came to me, she wanted to follow me. She seen that I got a purpose. She seen that I had ambition. That's what you tell them. She seen that I had a purpose. She seen that I had ambition. She wanted to be a part of the team. She did not come being a taker. She came to give. She always thinking about how we can move together. She wasn't about me running after her, because she knew I was going to come to her without running after her. She knows that I want to put a smile in her heart, because I put a smile in her heart, it's going to come to her face. When we have disagreements, that's what you're going to, you might tell them. When we have disagreements, she don't bring up the past. You don't have to say, like you used to bring up the past. You don't have to say that. She don't bring up the past. Because believe me, brother, if you seasoned and you used to deal with different women, somebody in your past, they're going to ask you about why you do it with that certain one, and why did they ask you that? Because they're doing mental comparison and contrast. Because the women that you used to deal with in the past, the first thing they're going to do is look at how that woman look. And they're going to compare, do they look better than that woman? It's natural, that's how they do it. Do she look better than me? Oh, she look okay. Now, what does she do? If they don't look better, because that's how some women, they so superficial. Does she look better than me? If she don't look better than them, oh, that's the best he could do. That's really. But if the woman look, if God sprinkle a little something on it, okay, she look okay. Now, what does she do? They want to know what she does, and after they find out what she does, okay. Then they want to find out some dirt on her, because you may have some women that you used to deal with. They want to go. You ain't got to even say nothing. They're going to want to go try to do some background on her to bring up some dirt. Do you know she used to do this? Do you know that? Do you know she used to do this? And then all you have to say, well, everybody got a pass. Everybody got a pass. But guess what? She was washed in the blood of Jesus like she never did it at all. Zip. Brothers and sisters, I'm so glad that you came to the dinner table tonight. I hope that you got something out of this. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. This will not no beat down on the women, but brother, you get a good woman that God bringing. Not what's saying, get a woman that you need. Never get a woman that you want. Want is temporary. You need somebody for your future. You don't need nothing temporary. It's easy to get temporary stuff. Look long range. You're not the long ranger, but look long range. You know how I could say this to you, brothers and sisters, because I used to be out there dealing with that kind of stuff. I did some foolish stuff. So I know I done walked that road before. And I'm trying to help some of you brothers. You ain't got to do it. I did it for you. I did some of that stupid stuff for you. But the Lord, he looked down on me. He said, what Tony used to do, that foolish stuff. But now I got to wash him and I got to straighten him up. He ain't perfect. He got a long way to go. And I'm still working on it. Thank God, brothers, when God bring that right woman to you. Some of you brothers right now, you know that you got a good woman. Don't mess up that thing what you got with a good woman to what you want. Because some of those women that you want, they just want to see, can they break you from your relationship. The worst thing you could do, brother, is mess up your relationship with a good woman and your legs too short to kick your own butt. Because a lot of those women out there, those strange women that Camille be talking about, the biggest thing they want to see, can they break up you and that good woman? That's all they want to do. It's a game to some of these women. They want to see, is it legit? They're going to test you. I'm letting you know now, brother, some of those women going to test you. Some women from your past, probably, and some women in your present. They're going to test you to see, is he legit? I love you, brother. I love you, sister. Those of you that was at the dinner table, I want you to go ahead and take a good plate with you. Take that good plate. Share with some more family members and friends. Share and like on the book and on the tube. Those of you that are on the tube, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification button. I love you, brothers. I love you, sister. You all have a good night. Thank you so much for coming to the dinner table. Okay? I love you, brother. I love you, sister. Peace out.